doesn't occur. We have an entire voting month in the U.S. What about the states? I'm happy to defend the greatest country ever to exist. What's a better country? Can you name one? What's a better country than the U.S.? Name one.
Plenty, mate.
Name one.
Plenty.
Name one.
What about Britain first?
Most Olympic medals, most Nobel Peace Prizes, most valuable country, most generous, most benevolent, most creative, most entrepreneurial.
What's Olympic medals going to do with
Excellent.
economic and political issues like
$22 trillion GDP. $22 trillion GDP. We gave $500 billion a year to charity last year. Whenever there's a hurricane, a tsunami, anything that happens, the United States always steps up. Well, look, so fair and decent society includes debate and disagreement.
Absolutely.
So then why are you trying to shut that down?
No, I'm not shutting you down.
So you actually are you.
I'm just saying, just wait a second.
Or we could keep talking until we could do that.
Or you can keep talking and switch off the cameras. Compromise. It's not this what debate is about and democracy is about. Compromise. Either you wait.
Okay, I'm not going to talk to you because I don't really know what you're saying.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here on a new video. Today, I'm checking out Kirk versus Woke UK Campus. SOAS. Socialism is evil. Okay, this is going to be amazing. I would love to check the video out with you guys. I love Charlie Kirk a lot. You guys can do that, but see my channel. I call him Charlie Kirk because he loves kicking us. Let's get right into today's video, guys.
Good morning. How are you? Let's talk about it. But let's talk about it. Why not? It's what? It's truth. Is the truth provocative? Can you tell me why this is incorrect? How about Venezuela is in total darkness right now because of socialist policies? They can't even turn the lights on at night. Why is it bullshit? Well, you're enjoying a capitalist Western society right now. The people in Venezuela would love that luxury, wouldn't they? Say that again? Last week, actually, Venezuelan refugees in the United States, giving them an opportunity to... I'm sorry? Say that again? Well, being in the United States is a great gift to any person who was formerly in a Venezuelan Marxist dictatorship. I mean, being in the United States versus Venezuela is totally better. Absolutely. Why is it that hundreds of thousands of people are trying to flee Venezuela right now?
That's because of neoliberalism in 1990.
They're a communist country. Well, Hugo Chavez implemented universal health care, government ownership of minerals and natural gas, right? They're a Marxist dictatorship. Then give me an example where socialism has worked. One example. Just one. I'm sorry? You mean the formula in Spain 50 or 60 years ago is what you mean? It's working in where? It's working perfectly in northern Syria. Then why did 1 million Syrians leave Syria in the last 5 years to go to Germany? So it's always someone else's fault, but it's never socialism's fault?
That's how they are.
So Venezuela, it's the IMF's fault. Northern Syria, it's the Turks' fault. Always. But you're not making any arguments.
There is no argument when you put that up.
But it is evil. 100 million people died under socialism in the last 100 years. It's been...
True.
No, actually, capitalism has lifted billions of people out of poverty in the last 100 years. Billions. Modern medicine, vaccinations, heating, air conditioning, technology is all a byproduct of market-based economies. Jonas Salk did not find the vaccination to polio out of a government bureau. The great advancements in human history have come from entrepreneurs. I'm sorry? My name is Charlie Kirk, and I love Western civilization. Yes. Yes. Again,
I barely hear him.
Well, do you like Western civilization? Well, no, actually, you know what makes Western civilization amazing is that we can have this conversation without either of us getting locked up.
What do you know about any other
True.
civilization?
Quite a lot. Want to talk about it? I'm happy to. So,
Go ahead.
I mean,
Are you aware that Western civilization,
say that again.
Western civilization is a thing to be defended here? So,
Say that one more. Is to be defended here, or
why did you come here?
again?
Why did you come in this space to
Well,
defend Western civilization? You still
well,
haven't answered my question.
I don't know that much about this school, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to make.
Name, right? You've seen who's around.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of different folks around here, so I'm not really sure what you're saying. But
I'm not really sure what you're saying when you say Western civilization.
what is Western civilization? You're living in it. Try having this conversation in Saudi Arabia right now. How about that? They'll cut your head off. No, they will. They don't have freedom of expression in Saudi Arabia. They throw homosexuals off the top of buildings. That's the difference between Western civilization and theocratic dictatorships that are not here. What makes the West the best is the free flow of ideas that can have these sort of decent conversations without getting thrown into prison. But enjoy the prosperity that only the West has made possible. Thank you. I'm sorry? So that's great. That's exactly why we're here. As soon as people stop talking, bad things happen. Conversation is fundamental to a fair and decent and civil society. The first time I ever heard about this school was this morning. So, and also I do want to make something clear. She was assuming I was saying something I wasn't when I talk about Western civilization. What makes I don't want to talk for her, but I think she was assuming I was making a racial identitarian argument, which I'm not. What makes Western society amazing is it doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, what religion you practice, is that you'll have the protection of individual rights under common law, which is actually started here in the UK and I would say perfected in the US over time. So I don't want to talk for her, but I do want to reject any sort of inference that I'm engaging in.
But that's what you read into what she said.
Well, I think that's a fair assumption because she was saying, well, look who's around here, and I don't want to talk for her, so you'd have to ask her. So, hello. That's private property. I don't know what the law is in the UK, but I don't think you're allowed to do that. What was your name again? It's okay. Let her do it. Let her do it. I think that's theft. Do they have laws in the UK against this? It's like 15 pounds, right? You gotta get that printed. Yeah. Well, so part of why we're here is to show that the left hates the idea that there are other ideas. Took about 20 minutes and a leftist got rid of our sign. So, are we allowed to press charges or something? Well, we just won the argument there because if she had a sign that says socialism is wonderful and the greatest thing ever, I would never have gotten and taken her sign away. But I don't want to assume her gender, but I'm guessing it was a female. And so, but she didn't want to, obviously she lost the debate. I think a fair assumption would say that because she stormed away and made no points whatsoever that made any sense. And then she takes my sign away. This is a commonality of the left and shows that we're winning. They're the most intolerant people that I've ever encountered in my life. And they preach tolerance. Sure. And you saw it, you captured it on video, which I look forward to you airing so that the rest of Britain can see what the British left has become. Because this is happening every time that we try to speak. There's always people that prevent that speech from happening whatsoever. Oh, there she is again. Hello. It's the nice young lady who keeps flicking me off. No, it was the nice young lady who keeps flicking me off. Oh, there's another one. Hello. Just they're all mobilizing. They have pockets. We got the window. You got one over here.
If looks could kill.
Jeez, you're not kidding. What's up, B? She's having fun. Come here. I'm gonna say hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
What's
you.
your name?
Ali.
Nice to meet
Ali,
you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I've seen your stuff online and stuff, and
Thank you,
yeah,
man.
I'm a big fan.
I appreciate that.
I like
Thanks.
The work you do,
So-
I hope you can be more successful in the UK.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure you'll be so successful at this uni because it's kind of. I don't know if you know the reputation, but
I
it's kind of,
actually don't. I mean, I came here
Right.
this morning. I'm not really sure I was headed.
Well,
So.
there's UCL just over there, and you might find some more people to talk to.
Oh, okay.
Well, this uni's kind of. I mean, I really like it because I'm learning Chinese, and they've got the best.
Wow,
They've got the
yeah.
best Chinese course, pretty much, that you can do in the UK. So.
Yeah, you're learning Mandarin.
Right.
That's really,
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah. I hope it's going to be.
Your name was Ali, right?
Ali.
Yeah, really nice to meet
Yeah,
you, man.
you.
Thanks for the kind
Yeah,
words.
sure.
Appreciate it, man.
Good luck.
So, thank you. Oh, it's a right-wing propagandist. Beware. Then let's have a conversation. I don't know why they're afraid to talk. Strange.
Students, this man is right-wing propagandist. Beware.
Do you need help?
It's serious.
Here, hold this. Anyway, if anyone wants to talk about this, happy to have a conversation. So,
For us to say students, probably the
hey, she
lecturer
got it.
or a professor.
Almost. Beware. Yeah, hi, beware.
For us to say students, this man is a right-wing propagandist. Beware. Or the struggle just puts this out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she doesn't want to talk about it, so she unsuccessfully puts up a sign. Would you like to have a conversation about it? Why is it not true? Oh, it is true. Oh. Yes! She's great. She says socialism is BS. Woohoo! We got another supporter. Yes.
Charlie is just trying to trigger them.
You're okay. Would you like to have a conversation about it? It's killed 100 million people over the last 100 years. Venezuela's in total darkness. People are starving. And it's evil to take other people's money and property away. Capitalism has lifted billions of people out of poverty. Modern medical advancements. Well, I think we're talking about two different things. Free market capitalism is really what you see around a lot of the Western world, where we have transportation advancements, life expectancy expanding, more people have more food than ever before. We have an obesity problem in the West, not a poverty problem. Mostly because of self-selected choices, not because of the prosperity or the abundance. Can you? Can you give me a specific example of that?
Plastic production, like throwaway plastic. Sorry, I've been reading a lot about that recently, so that's the example that stays in mind. We have a continent, or rather a country, 3 times south of France, of plastic waste in the Pacific Ocean, which is constantly deteriorating, constantly killing people. We have, you're talking about the food revolution. The food revolution hasn't been a revolution in the quality of food, it's been a general degrading of quality of vegetables, lack of nutrition. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in socialism system in the sense that, like, you know, a lot of socialist countries were
Very repressive and authoritarian.
They weren't actually socialist in the sense that everyone had equal chances. It was like a certain party came to power and then monopolized.
Do you think socialism has ever worked?
I mean, I'm French, so I'm from a social country. If I
I would say France is pretty screwed up right now, though, isn't it? They got
yeah, but
yellow
France-
vest protests.
France is screwed up because Emmanuel Macron is putting in neoliberal. I mean, 30 years after the UK and America, he's putting in neoliberal reforms.
So he's not left enough, you think?
Macron's not left left in the slightest.
Wow. Okay.
Their point's not left at all.
Wow.
Their point country is the ESS, which is the Solidarity Wealth.
Yeah, you and I have such different worldviews. It's good to express them, but for example, in France, it seems as if there's very, very overly abundant social welfare programs that shouldn't exist. Yeah.
Right. I'm half American, half French. When I was 4 in America, I was on the monkey bars. A little girl asked me to help her, like, on the monkey bars. She slipped, broke her arm. Her family didn't have insurance. They tried suing my family, saying that I'd broken her arm because they had no other means to potentially get care for their daughter. In France, my brother has a rare disease.
Well, we have Medicaid in the United States. Do you know what Medicaid is?
Yeah.
No, Medicaid was actually started in 1968. Medicaid covers 40 million people for the poor in the U.S., which is a form of universal health care. Well, most people get health insurance through their employer. Right, so again, what I was saying is that most people actually have health coverage in the States. Sorry? No, that's not correct in the States. There's a law in the U.S. that you actually are covered. No, actually, most people don't have coverage because they self-selected. So that's correct. So let me ask you a question. What's the number one provider of?
Yeah, like, what's your point?
To him, I don't know.
Also, I think.
What do you do? Basically, in short, what do you do?
Like, it's Monday morning, for Christ's sake. Also, you can't
And
stick
on
like
SOA. Why would you come to SOA on Monday morning?
Okay, it is. I can't
Does
tell.
anyone want to like
I don't understand.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, you.
What kind of conversation was that? I didn't see no speech then when you were pushing the chest. I just did this. Yeah, I know. Staff's face. That was really nice.
Like, I understand their rationality and like that's fine, but like it's
Did they try? Do they want to attack Charlie? It's getting serious, like very, very serious.
Why wouldn't you say it's diplomatic? Well, I mean, someone can. I mean, it says right there that. Well, it's. Well, what would you say about the 100 million people that died under socialism the last 100 years? Neoliberalism has lifted billions of people out of poverty in Southeast Asia, all over the world. So, for example, the polio vaccine, over 100 diseases that we have eradicated thanks to medical advancements and neoliberal policies. The smartphone that I'm guessing is in your right-hand pocket is an advancement of neoliberal policy.
True.
China does not have private property rights like they do in the West. China suppresses freedom of speech, freedom of religion. They're locking up Muslims in prisons. They're eradicating churches. But Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Switzerland are actually ranked higher on the World Economic Freedom Index than even the United States. And that I totally
That's true.
support.
They still practice capitalism.
No, of course. So if that's not socialist at all. They have some generous social welfare programs.
there are nuances.
Well, no, I would say Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark have some overly generous social welfare programs that they can afford because they have 8 million people, which I reject. That's the part I don't. I reject social welfare programs, absolutely. That's a role for the family, the church, local communities. Yes. So, well, I mean, we talk about the NHS. So, but do you know that Sweden has the highest single motherhood rate in Europe? That's not a good thing. So there's problems in Norway. Single motherhood, because I believe the nuclear family is an ideal that should be preserved. Well, the nuclear family is one of the greatest institutions in the history of the world. No, it's a fundamental fact that with a nuclear, I can't debate 6 people at once. So
You will debate 6 people because I'm so out and there's loads of people. So one, start.
okay, let's talk about the nuclear family. Do you think it's a good thing that families stay together or a bad thing?
The nuclear family is an institution.
Well, of course there's exceptions, but a nuclear family should try to be preserved and protected, right?
Post-industrialization, it happens here. It's very different. In Africa, for example, living with your grandparents, living with your aunties, living in a common union, in a compound, sharing resources is a very normal and.
That's what I'm arguing for, is a restoration of the nuclear family.
No, that's not the nuclear family. That's extended family. It's very different. That's
Right, they could work symbiotically. You can't have extended without nuclear.
Would you admit that the extended family and the nuclear family are two different
Without a doubt, but you can't have extended without nuclear.
No, the nuclear family is a family of two parents.
So you don't believe that's an ideal?
Mom, dad, brother, and a child, like and a son. That's not 2.4.
You don't believe it's an ideal? Wow.
Two parents, two children, etc. No, you're guessing.
Because the West has gone further into poverty, higher suicide rates, higher use of drug usage as the nuclear family has been deteriorated.
Society also has been stripped of its connective,
Because of the deterioration of the nuclear family.
Neoliberalism is pushing families to nuclear.
You mean the greatest leaders of the 20th century? Winston Churchill was the greatest man to live in the 20th century. Ronald Reagan was right behind it. Maggie Thatcher.
Whoa. Okay.
We're all living freer, more prosperous lives.
Let's go laugh at the weird man that's come from the
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong why Winston Churchill was not the greatest man to live in the 20th century.
I mean,
He was a war prime minister. It's completely different.
You mean the war prime minister that defeated the Nazis, that pushed back neo-fascism in Europe, that unified London against the greatest evil of our time?
You're talking about the war that Winston Churchill defeated the Nazis. There was also millions of Indians who were recruited in that war. And then after the war, what did Winston Churchill do?
Well, he was actually kicked out because the British people, they like strength and courage during World War II, but they don't like strength and courage after.
Don't touch the question. What happened in India? What happened in Bangladesh?
You'll have to enlighten me now.
Churchill restricting rations, restricting supplies that had been donated by India back to India. There was mass famine. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people died as a result of Winston Churchill giving no fucks about the common humanity of goodness versus evil.
Do you think Neville Chamberlain or Winston Churchill was a better leader?
Do you have an Instagram so I can put you on Twitter?
Please, at Charlie Kirk 1776, the greatest year of the last 300 years. The year that Adam Smith wrote The Inquiry into the Wealth of Nations and the Declaration of Independence was written. A great commonality between our two decent societies. Adam Smith was one of the greatest thinkers and discoverers in human history. Okay, good, we agree. So, anyway, I don't know what happened to my... I'm sorry?
I don't know if you've read, like...
I've read Marx and Engels, I've read...
You read Adam Smith in his entirety?
Yeah, so An Inquiry into the Cause of the Wealth of Nations, I have, yes.
Right.
So where he observes the invisible hand, observes people that...
Ah, so you know that the invisible hand is a physical hand, right? Like
Oh, no, I actually understand it's a metaphor. So he actually didn't create anything, he discovered it. So we all operate in markets one way or the other.
No, I know, and I'm quite familiar. So I'm wondering if you read the chapters where he talks about socialism and how socialism is actually quite good to like keep two societies together. Like it's a fascinating...
No, so he talks about voluntary constructs that are created in communities, not government coercion. Two totally different things. No, he does. He never advocates for coercive government intervention. He never talks about high taxation, regulation, or price gouging, things that the left talks about. Well, can you reference what part of the Inquiry into the Cause of Wealth of Nations he talks about? Well, because it doesn't exist.
True.
Right. So Adam Smith discovered free market capitalism in the modern era. He didn't create anything. Where Marxism and communism was created by people that wanted to really create power.
Where are you from? I'm literally curious.
America, Chicago.
You're from Chicago? So where? Like,
You guys are pretty much
Northwest suburbs area. Northwest suburbs. So Wheeling, Arlington Heights area.
Dealing with the gun crime in Chicago.
You mean the high? It's actually the strictest gun laws in the country.
Is that not an issue?
So it's actually all run by Democrats in the United States, which I find to be a repulsive political ideology, which is centered around control, similar to socialism. Well, no, there's a difference. Actually, I'm a huge supporter of democratic means of electing individuals under a constitutional republic. But democracy in general actually is something that is an overused term that I don't believe in the tyranny of the majority. Just because 50% of people believe something doesn't mean it's true.
True.
What about voter suppression?
do you think that it should be...
No, it's a total myth and lie. I believe you should be alive to vote. You have to be a U.S. citizen and have an ID to vote. No, it doesn't vote. You know, it doesn't occur. We have an entire voting month in the U.S. What about the states? I'm happy to defend the greatest country ever to exist. What's a better country? Can you name one? What's a better country than the U.S.? Name one.
Plenty, mate.
Name one.
Plenty.
Name one.
What about Britain first?
Most Olympic medals, most Nobel Peace Prizes, most valuable country, most generous, most benevolent, most creative, most entrepreneurial.
What's Olympic medals going to do with
Excellent.
economic and political issues like
$22 trillion GDP. $22 trillion GDP. We gave $500 billion a year to charity last year. Whenever there's a hurricane, a tsunami, anything that happens, the United States always steps up. Of course we do. Name one hurricane we haven't stepped up for in our own country. With Katrina, we stepped up. What are you talking about? You guys What about Hurricane Maria? We gave tens of billions of dollars to Hurricane Maria.
Again, I like that. Let me see that dance.
Yes, we did.
Let me see it.
I'm sorry?
Around the questions. Let me see it again. It looks good. Show me your footwork.
I'm sorry? Can you name a better country than the United States of America? You can't? Okay, hello.
We're waiting to know whether this is actually considered propaganda or not, and you're allowed to film.
Okay,
So
fine.
everybody, stop it.
No.
Put down cameras, or move to another place with all the people you have here, and move to that street down there. Okay? Oh wait.
Or we can keep talking because no one's getting hurt.
Okay. Why about keep talking? Switch off the
Well, look,
cameras.
so fair and decent society
Wait for it, like
includes debate and disagreement.
absolutely.
So then why are you trying to shut that down?
No, I'm not shutting it down.
So you actually are. You.
I'm just saying, just wait a second.
Or we could keep talking until we could do that.
Or you can keep talking and switch off the cameras. Compromise. It's not
Why would they switch off the cameras?
democracy is about compromise.
Or
Whether you wait.
okay, I'm not gonna talk to you because I don't really know what you're saying. So
Thank you. I love this man.
well, you're trying to shut down an entire forum.
I'm not trying.
I think there's also the question.
But this is actually the BBC, so you guys could talk to the BBC about it. So right, so I have a right to freedom of expression, don't I? And if people don't want to engage in the freedom of expression, they can walk away. So that's a voluntary transaction of a conversation.
I don't think there's a problem with talking.
I agree that talking and conversation is fundamental to a fair and decent and civil society.
Yeah, there's a good point. I mean, it's alright. Cameras and maybe not in this place. It's like you have the right to do this democracy. That's what it's about.
Charlie said he's not going to talk to her.
What's your pet? What does that mean?
He served in the Royal Marine Association. He was a friend of mine.
I mean, why also? Sorry, again. Just like,
No, it's okay.
with choosing of like, how can you decide that country is like the best country? Or like, what are your
By every standard possible.
well, you're giving
Most
me
patents. How about the most patents? The most medical advancements, the most diseases eradicated, the most money ever given away, the most wealth ever created.
you actually
No, but I know far more about economics than anyone who went to the London School of Economics. Happy to. So most monopolies are created by government. Sure. Yes, but I do understand Keynes. I understand all that horrible economic theory. Yeah, the government is the ultimate monopoly, right? How is it not? Government has a monopoly on power.
Let me ask a question. So if
Sure.
you understand this monopolistic economic structure, then how can you say that patents like, create incentives, like
They do actually. I think patent laws should be mostly de-emphasized.
Like, why do you think I said it? And you like to have it
No, I think patents should be about a year or 2 years, not 30 or 4 years. So
Right, okay, so
that's
you do believe in like kind of making sure that a patent doesn't like get
so.
evergreen?
Who issues a patent? Who issues a patent? Okay, so government is the ultimate monopoly. We agree. You just agree. It is the ultimate
Yes, I agree
monopoly.
that.
Government has the power to shut down business,
If you want
to
talk
audit
about-
people they
if you
disagree
want
with.
to talk about evergreening patents in the United States, it's right now pharmaceutical lobbyists who have.
No, I totally agree. You have nothing but agreement with me on
Well,
that.
exactly. So like, how can you say that? That's
the farm that's also the corporation.
I'm not defending that system, but you want to talk about excellence? We have the most amount of patents in the world that eradicate disease,
But if you
that
disagree
improve
that the
people's
patent
standard of
structure
living.
isn't working, then,
It
like,
could be
how can you
vastly
say that
no, because it's a standard. Because patents in general
Right.
that the entire Western world has not been able to duplicate or replicate.
Because, no, let me. Wouldn't you say that because the patent structure right now is terrible, and yes, we've had amazing patents.
It could be
that have
vastly
been
improved.
generated- Right.
I'm not
You
defending the
couldn't
patent
say that.
system. I'm defending the ingenuity that's embedded in the American
Would you
spirit.
agree that if the patent system had been different, say 20, 30 years ago, we'd have even more.
Totally. Yes,
more
absolutely.
industry.
So America's the greatest country ever to exist, but it could be even better. We're not a perfect country,
No, I can't.
but I'm gonna say it louder. America is the greatest country ever to exist. Prove me wrong.
Nagasaki, Fallujah, Syria.
Great does not mean perfect. Wait, how about World War II, pushing back the Nazis, Normandy Beach, reclaiming Berlin?
Not even meaning in World
The
War II until the very end when it was.
the very end? You mean when over 300,000 Americans died in the European theater and you're trying to diminish the sacrifice of the boys of Iowa and Ohio and Pennsylvania?
I'm BBC News. And
I think that is for BBC, right?
A lot of socialists who believe that socialism is good, socialism is effective, they are all in capitalist country. It's as funny as that, but they are all in capitalist country. And they love how the system is working for them. They should go stay in Venezuela or Cuba. Let them experience what socialism really is. So they will enjoy it. Socialism only work if it's benefiting them. It's as simple as that. But when it's against them, they hide their face. You understand? And a lot of the socialists, they believe that you get more money from people who are wealthy, and everyone shares it equally, which do not work. A lot of people are running away from Venezuela. A lot of people are running away from Cuba because the system is not working. Socialism do not work. I keep on saying this every single time. And that's why I love Charlie a lot, because it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. Socialism is evil. There's no how you want to hide that fact. It's terrible. If it's that great, a lot of people won't be in America, even in UK right now. You understand? Because it's terrible. It's literally terrible. And from living socialism, they entered into a lot more things concerning nuclear family. Nuclear family is incredible, guys. Having father and mother in the single home and raising their children is the best experience ever, like a family can ever have. Do you understand? It's the best experience. Single motherhood has been, should I use the word terrible? It's really, really terrible. Single mother who's training their kids, it's really terrible. The kids turn out to be something totally different. You understand? So if you think about it and see it clearly, a nuclear family always triumph and gets more foundation more than single mother training the child. You understand? Because the child tends to know what the role of a mother is and what the role of a father is and how effective they become. And they look up to their father and they also look up to their mother, and they tend to reciprocate such level of family in their own life. Because when they want to become a father or a mother, they feel like my parents did this, and their marriage or their relationship and our family was incredibly strong and better. So they will want to live such life again. It's a pattern of life. But when you say single mother, the father is absent. So the female child do not grow up with the father and do not know what father love is. Also, the male child do not know what father love is. They just grow up with the mother. And it's not perfectly balanced. You understand? It's kind of like shaky. When it comes to like single mothers training the kids, it's shaky. I keep on saying this. It's very, 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 very shaky. So Charlie was very, very respectful throughout this entire conversation. And it's a free speech. Freedom of speech, guys. We have that right. We have that right. And when you notice they're trying to shut you off, means you are saying something very, very important. Number one, Charlie never inconvenienced anyone. You see, when you are protesting or saying, making your statement clear to everyone to know or to see, as long as you are not inconveniencing anyone, you are right to do what you are doing. You should keep on doing what you're doing. Charlie, it's an open dialogue. If you are not interested, you should walk out. It's as simple as that. The school, I won't say the school board, but I think that woman who came to talk to Charlie, and Charlie said, I'm not going to talk to you because she's actually saying garbage and bullshit. And I love how Charlie answered that. He said, I'm not talking to you. No, because you are actually saying nonsense. I'm sure she's the one who went to go and call the SOAS, I think that is the school name, securities to walk Charlie out and the other BBC reporters out, which makes no sense. This is an open dialogue. Everyone have freedom of speech to voice out their own opinion, as long as they're not creating any chaos or havoc around there. What was pissing that woman off? I think she was wearing a red dress that said Charlie should live there. Is that Charlie brought in camera. That was her pain. She don't want camera to be there. If Charlie is speaking without camera, she'll be okay. But with camera, I feel like it's going to expose something else. And the truth of the matter is that the topic they are all talking about, that Charlie is talking about, is meaningful. Socialism is an evil art. It's an evil art. It's an evil way of system of government. Like it's never worked. It's because there is no foundation in socialism. It might work for a temporary time, like in the aspect of like 1-2 years, then it flop. It's never stable. It's evil. And a lot of people have died through that. People will say, I don't love capitalism, I don't love capitalism. They don't want to live a capitalist country. They just don't want to live it because they enjoy the privilege and the amenities that comes with it. If you believe socialism really work, then you should go have your own country on your own. I love how Charlie handled the entire students. I love how the debates went about. And I love Charlie's confidence. He was very, very open and he was sincere. And he knows his rights. That's his number one thing. You have to know your rights before they will come talk nonsense to you. Charlie knows his rights and he defended it. The entire conversation was beautiful to watch. Comment down below what you think about this video. The first students who came there and took off the board, that was very disrespectful and that was a theft. How dare you do that? It's not yours and you just came to pull it off because you are pissed. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video to as many as possible. Subscribe to our channel, guys. You know how to do it. So see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.